I think it's something that you're able to, if you able to get away with it as a position 1 against these heroes, again, Nyx, Silencer, don't deal with push at all. So I think we could definitely look to see a Naga just completely take over the map, keep it pushed in, and you know that that's what a disruptor wants, right? You want a disruptor, you want to be playing into the enemy team's side of the map, not running away. And that's what someone like a Naga enables. Even Shadow Fiend to a lesser extent, with just being able to shove out a lane with the Shadow Razors.
This is a really scary team fight combo that Entity have at the moment, where you can go Song into Static Storm or Song into Requiem, and importantly be able to find the Silencer's positioning in the team fights as well. So I like this from Beast Coast. He deals very well with illusions, one that C-Smile is incredibly comfortable on. Like, he thrives on the Pangolier, can get to the Disruptor, can kind of help out with controlling the Shadow Fiend as well through the middle of the fight. So I do like this answer a lot from Beast Coast. What are your thoughts on the Naga potentially being a position 3 or even a 4 here? Like, where do you really think this is going to go? Because I don't think it's going to be played as a 1 into the Primal Beast lane.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel like Shadow Fiend's good in the Primal Beast lane? I guess the Razors kind of slowing him down a little bit does help things, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly where this Naga's going to go. Like, I think it's really good against the supports that they've got, but maybe now that they've baited out this Pango, that, you know, it's still a relatively solid pick all throughout. You know, it enables the team fight quite heavily, but maybe they just don't feel as confident in picking it now as a core, or at least the main core. And I was mentioning before that Toby, his style of playing is, you know, the Beastmaster, the Lycan, the Visage. Naga might be able to provide a similar sort of thing, just a little slower, I guess, if there was any word to use around the main core. And I was mentioning before that Toby, his style of playing is, you know, the Beastmaster, the Lycan, the Visage. Naga might be able to provide a similar sort of thing, just a little slower, I guess, if there was any word to use around it.
Yeah, his micro is incredible. That's kind of why I brought up the potential of like this being a 3 or some crazy stuff, because Katomi plays some wild stuff as well. So very intrigued on what's going to come out from Entity. They do have the 23rd pick, and we see Beast Coast trying to cover their tracks with the Bloodseeker ban. Rupture would have completely nullified the Pango and the Primal Beast in a lot of these fights.
I still feel like, especially if you're playing it as a 3 and you're not playing as greedy on the Naga Siren, this is an amazing game for an Aghanim Scepter for Naga. You know, you can get it onto the Pango while he's rolling, enable the Shadow Fiend to just right-click him down. Same sort of thing with a Primal Beast, right? You just net him in place, and then what can you do once the BKB's popped?
Interesting. A lot of minus armor. Corrosive Haze, Riptide, Presence of the Dark Lord.
And then Marcy buffing up your damage.
Yep. This is a very, very scary lineup that they have to deal with. You'd probably need an Agi carry for Beast Coast, someone who's got a crap load of built-in armor. Can they Terrorblade? Terrorblade feels a bit awkward with their team dynamic, though.
Against the Naga, it feels awkward too.
Okay.
Especially if it's a core Naga. 5 seconds left. I mean, Entity seem like they're pretty confident. They're going to go the Sven. All right, some armor for the entire team, not just for the one. Don't hate it. And again, this is what Hector really loves to play. You know, he loves his strength position 1s. You know, obviously everyone knows him for the Wraith King, but this is 101 for K1 coming through. Just the basic Dota for himself. It's going to be a off-lane Pango and a mid-Primal Beast for this one as well.
Okay.
And we are going to see that off-lane Naga Siren as well. I'm keen to see how they're able to make it work. Position 1 Slardar. We were mentioning that this might also be a factor once we get into the later stages of the group stage, and Storm are playing the Shadow Fiend mid. All right, I'm interested. I want to see how this all shapes up, because I'm all ears, Entity. You know, you've been scrimming, you've been trialing this stuff out. Let's see if it works in the real deal.
Yeah, something that Pure has been playing in the pub, so we'll see how this Slardar is going to be able to shape up. I mean, the potential for the late game amplification is incredible, and a very, very good laner as well. I think always one of Slardar's weaknesses is how you're able to keep up in farm, so this really looks ideal. I wonder if we're going to get a lot more Slardars now, because something you were mentioning towards the start of the Last Chance qualifiers, where you were saying it was going to be like 2 off-lane side laners in a way, and then you have kind of the win condition mid, where we're seeing, you know, the Morphling and that Sage get played mid pretty often. The leaners were getting picked up as well, along with the Shadow Fiends. And while Slardar now being able to give a lot of farm to Pure, can also kind of act as that playmaker and tempo setup to enable the Stormer to really be that true win condition as the game goes on. So this is going to be exciting to see, but do we feel like Beast Coast have the answers? Is this Sven enough to be able to help out and fit into their lineup that Beast Coast are trying to play with?
I prefer the idea of Entities Draft. I just don't know the execution because I can't remember the last time I've seen an off-lane Naga Siren come through. You know, the last off-laner that I've seen play Naga Siren was, I think, KP back when he was on MVP Phoenix, and they swapped him to position 1 whenever he had the chance to play Naga because his Naga's just that damn good, right? So we'll see what they're able to do with it, but I'm favoring them for now.
So I think there was a big advantage in the draft for Entity, again, with a lot of the minus armor they were looking for, but until this Sven was picked up, I was worried, but maybe it's going to be able to help out now, because we were kind of said a very similar thing in the previous game with Katomi playing the Sven, to be able to help out with some of the issues with the Pudge and the Leshrac. So I'm intrigued, but this is, again, a position 1 Sven, so he's going to be prioritizing a lot more on farming instead of being with the team early on. Sure, in the mid game, you'll be taking team fights, but not having armor until then could be a very, very big issue.
I mean, this is just the way that they play on Entity, right? They play around the, let's say, 30-ish minute timings, right, on the Slardar. The way that Pure loves to build the Slardar is treads into the Mask of Madness, Blink BKB, Moonshard, Ags. So he just wants to try and keep them away as much as possible. Essentially, pushing them up to the high ground. Yeah, essentially just completely take one person out of a team fight because of all of that attack speed that you've got.
Oh, look at the lane swap as well. Try and put Pure down bottom, which does get scouted out. So instantly, they're going to be able to react to this for Beast Coast. Where are they looking to try and set up? Looks like Pure will be going up against Whisper on the Pangolier by the looks of it.
Potential tri-lane to start things up here on the top side. Do they have anything to scout out this movement coming through from Gojira? Doesn't seem like it just yet, but they're going to path by and spec that one out. Katomi has to be a little bit careful there, and Toby, actually doesn't connect. Not that he was in too much of a worry. I mean, Naga Siren, insane movement speed, crazy armor for so early into the game. Quite hard to kill. A lot of people have put Naga as their least deaths average for the entire tournament. You in agreement with that?
I don't even, I'm trying to remember what I put. I don't particularly remember. I kind of just flew through that. I had Naga in some of my predictions. What did you have? Do you agree with that?
I mean, sorry, top side.
Toby,
never mind. See you later predictions. Just because most of the time it's being played as a 1, right? And you're using your illusions to push out, not really showing on the map. And if you lose, you're still probably not joining too many team fights, right? It takes a while for you to truly come online. So
I had Primal Beast as mine. Because I, for some reason, see Primal Beast always going like 12 and 0 and minimal deaths. Katomi, they're going to miss another stun from Gojira, so Katomi's okay for the moment. What do you, in regards to this tri-lane more for Beast, what do you feel like they're trying to get out of this? Are you looking to really enable K1? Are you avoiding a matchup? Are you wanting to try and shut down a hero in particular? What are they hoping out of this tri-lane?
I suppose their mindset is, look, on the bottom side of the map, we're not really that concerned about dying on Whisper. You ask a lot of pros, he is, in their opinion, the best player coming out of the entirety of SA. And so, on a hero like Pango that has plenty of ways to be able to create space, against a Slardar, you're not overly concerned with dying in the laning phase, just because he's, I know other rotations coming through here, so Stormer should be fine. Should be fine. And you could just, you look to use your abilities to last hit, and you're probably going to come out ahead in terms of that that experience level. Getting up onto an early level 6 maybe means that you can make a rotation onto these heroes like the Naga, like the Shadow Fiend, and to really put them in the bin, because you can't be dying too many times early on these two.
Not at all. Not at all. Again, For Beast Coast, their game 1 lanes look very well, and it's looking to be a similar case here in game 2. Cause of finding farm. You're expecting Whisper to have a little bit more difficult of a time being left solo. They might be able to catch Katomi up top. Nice use of the rebound. He's going to get some distance towards the tier 1 tower, so Katomi will be okay. He's got some tangos to play with.
Nearly got griefed by Toby for a second there, just using the mirror image meant that he wasn't actually a target for the rebound to be used to get away, but still able to get underneath the safety of his tower. Stormer going into that Bootsy speed, realizing the importance of just staying away from C-Smile as much as possible. Lane's in a pretty good spot for him though. I mean, he's farming, getting 5 denies, 7 more last hits, farming underneath his tower. This is kind of to be expected for Whisper, especially against later on.
Haha, go Jiro, dude, no way. Oh, he should so skate. Did you see what he just did?
Nah, what happened?
He red mid, just chucked out a meta burn. There was like a minor duration of the self left from Stormstormer, who might be in trouble. See Smile looking to try and move on forward to block off the path from Stormstormer to be able to pick up the water rune, so won't be able to refill the bottle. Yeah, Gojira just runs from top to mid, gets the bounty, uses the meta burn to stop the cell, which had barely any duration left, and the deny to creep in front of his face. Top lane, Stinger might go down here. They could turn it back around to Katomi with the use of the stun from K1. They might even hit back onto Toby as well. They've got a little bit more mana to work with here, so Stinger chucking out the damage with the glaives.
Yeah, just wants to give him vision.
Still on cooldown, Toby with the cleave. One more right click and they find it. Be able to try and maybe drop an iron branch. Well, Toby won't even go for that. They've been able to cut through the trees and they will catch him out.
Getting some of that intelligence stolen as well. And that's the thing with K1 there. He didn't really want to right click. He didn't want the tower to turn onto him underneath the tower. The creeps were doing a good enough job. And as long as you're...
Mid lane? What's going on here?
As long as you're orb walking with the glaives there, the tower's never going to aggro onto you. Top side though, K1. A little bit cautious here. A bit of a turnaround.
Stinger! Oh. Gonna die very, very close. So mid lane, I think Fishman with the glimpse used defensively just to send C-Smile away, kept Stormstormer alive, almost got a big kill, which don't think this lane's gonna get a whole lot easier for Stormstormer, especially with the Pulverize coming up very shortly. So we see the supports playing defensively around him, because top lane, with his action continuing to break out. This time Katomi will live on 11 health.
I mean, K1's not the healthiest either though, so obviously Katomi needs to completely rotate back, but right now Toby, he's just focused on shoving these lanes out as much as he can, especially around the siege creep timing. You don't want to give it up for free. Every little bit of experience that you can get, even just pulling it back underneath his tower to make sure that the creeps are dealt with ASAP, because this is the time. I mean, how many times in the last chance qualifiers did we see Primal Beast rotate at 3-4 minutes? If you can look to deal with this siege creep in the mid lane on C-Smile, it really does open up the opportunity for you to come up top with your ultimate and start to open up the map more for Hector to be able to play with.
I wonder if there's even an argument for going down bottom, because with the Rolling Thunder being up shortly, like Pure is free farming, so if you can slow down his game, then it might be beneficial as well for Beast Coast. That's the nice thing, at least for him. He can go to both side lanes and potentially find kills.
He does do this movement without actually shoving out the mid lane first, though. Looks like he might just want to build up a stack for himself and go back to the mid lane. He's pinging it out, saying, come on, notice me.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pinging out that he was not necessarily there, might expect that he's farming up some of these stacks inside the jungle. Last hits being missed uncharacteristically by C-Smile. Whisper, now you're up against, yep.
Pure, a deep dive, and that's where C-Smile can come into play with the TP. First use of the Polarize of the game, nets himself a kill. Beautifully done, being able to protect Whisper, getting him that level 6.
Okay, one up top though.
Yeah, the top side of the map. Toby's going to be able to hold him back with the Incer, so Stormstormer can walk up forward to land the raise. A nice kill for the Shadow Fiend to find, considering mid lane has been a bit back and forth, so it's going to get a nice injection of gold, and they might even be able to catch up the Stinger. Yeah, I don't blame you, honestly. Shadow Fiend and Amaxi chasing you down. Another kill for Stormstormer. A freebie at that.
Yeah, completely. Might even be able to start stacking up a few of these camps for himself as well. Just looking to get... Oh, the miss. The upfield miss. Ooh, will he get the stack off? won't, but they'll more likely get a kill on Katomi instead, unless he just gets on out, you know? Isn't it great? Isn't this fair? Oh, the nerfs aren't enough.
Not at all. What a great hero.
Top tower is under attack.
Alright. Well, K1 is getting a ridiculous amount of farm up top. So we'll see what Beast Coast are able to do to continue to enable that. They haven't got any stacks at the moment. Do you feel like this is something that they might look to start to put a little bit more priority on here?
Potentially, but I want to see them put a bit more emphasis onto just taking that tier 1 tower top, just so that you can look to rotate back and forth between the Ancients camp as well as the top 2 camps on the side of the map to enable K1 a little bit more.
How many resources do you feel like they need to bring up top to try and secure that tower for Beast Coast?
I mean, no one really pushes that well on their team, right? So it's probably going to need to be around that siege creep timing. It's going to be at about the same stage that K1 has the God Strength back up and available again, that the siege creep reaches that area. So yeah, I would say about 10.5 minutes is when they're looking to rotate a few people up here. So it's all about influencing the lanes in the next minute or so.
Bottom lane? Oh, sorry.
No, that's I was just saying. A kill onto Pure would do a great job at being able to do that, but he's just way too tanky at this stage.
I thought Whisper finished with the charge up the Rolling Thunder, but cancelled at the last second. You see, it's going to be Entity that are looking to play around with Pure. Level 7, so maxed out Bash. This is a hero that is incredibly strong. You cannot look to run up and man fight the starter, and no, they're going to bring some extra numbers though to still take the skirmishes. Whisper will be able to bounce back. Even C Smile gets the charge into the middle as well. So a double kill picked up for Beast Coast. Let's see if they want to continue on to Pure. They've already used a lot of their abilities though, so it will be difficult to go under the tower.
Middle tower is under attack.
Lots of abilities being used. No Pulverize, no Rolling Thunder. Means they might miss out on a bit of that timing for the top side of the map that I was talking about. K1 was in position to be able to go for it and might get turned around upon here.
Yeah, Stormstormer playing with a haste rune is able to line up perfectly with a triple raise. A big kill for them to find, considering how much net worth K1 is starting to build up on the Sven.
Yeah, he's a farming machine, but that time around he just got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. The rest of his team had rotated down bot. There was no way for them to join, and I'm sure he was expecting them to help him take that tier 1 tower top, but yeah, good rotations coming through at the time. Toby, just the 1 point in the ensnare, but that's still enough to enable Stormstormer, who's again having quite a solid game. So now I feel like you might have missed a little bit of your window, right? Like, with some of these kills coming through, like you mentioned, Pure hasn't differentiated from his build at all. Treads, Mask, into the Blink Dagger. I'm sure it's going to be either a Moonshard or a BKB after that. And then it's just about running at the enemy team. And now you don't have quite as much space to be able to play around on Hector, so a few more of his farming patterns are going to be much more easily scouted out.
Even though both sides did miss that catapult timing, we're still going to have some actions here in the side lane shortly, as the supports are starting to get to the stage where they have the level 6, and we see that out at Entity. Both Fishman and Katomi a smoke down bottom to try and target down Whisper, but Stinger is nearby with a global silence. He's going to be able to get it off just after the fall from Katomi, so a couple ultimates expended, but it will be Beast Coast that get a kill nonetheless.
Tower is under attack.
I think you're very happy with that. And just look at what happens at the same time. This is what I was talking about in game number 1 with K1. They're pinging him out. They really want to try and get the net in onto him. Might need to pop the song of the Siren to catch.
EPs are starting to come through. There's the song. Whisper gets the ultimate off. Should be a decent amount of damage if you get the fall. Pure's going to be able to sidestep it the once. Beast Coast, they're going to bring some more resources as well to try and take this top skirmish, but even Entity are TPing another member in as well. Pure's vulnerable to the damage at the moment. Starter going to try and path his way through the tree line. He might tick out to the curse. Let's see if the damage is going to be enough. Pure actually looks to step back in, but the lifesteal's not enough to keep him alive. So now Beast Coast, they've got a free opening to continue to dive under the tower. Whisper's going to go for Fishman, and meanwhile K1 will try and catch up the Toby as well, because they got C Smile wrapping on the other side. Beautifully done from Beast Coast, getting 3 kills and now finally being able to take the tier 1 tower.
It just took them that little bit too long to try and secure that one onto K1. You know, maybe if they pop the song a little bit earlier, you're able to allow the team to connect before he's inside the trees. He's not quite as close to his team's tower, so they could look to assist. It was just a couple of times now that the silence coming through from the silencer is just that little bit too late.
It's interesting that the song doesn't stop the charge up of the Rolling Thunder.
It was a little bit after, I thought.
Oh, okay. I saw it on the very edge then, so I wasn't quite sure. Okay, there you go. Never mind. 2,000 net worth lead here for Beast Coast, and again, K1 still flawless in this game. And this is exactly what a Sven needs. Like, this hero thrives on being at least one item ahead of your opposition's cause.
K1 absolutely looks to do that. They find a solo pick off onto the Marcy. That's on the back of this ward inside of the Entity Ancient Camp area. So they see Stormstormer farming. They see no one else looking to back him up. It just means that they're able to get these solo pick-offs. You don't want to let a Marcy look to scale into the later stage. Effectively becomes a fourth core for the team if you enable that. And Stormstormer has to be careful here. Under the smoke, they'll be able to catch him out as he retreats back, and this is where the charge starts to come through.
It's a great ward to utilize. They know no one else is playing around the triangle. An easy kill picked up onto Stormstormer. Kitomi and Fishman should be able to at least get one rebuttal. They're even going to be able to glimpse back a second member as well as Gojira. Just so much damage getting pumped in thanks to the unleash onto Kitomi. So at least we'll get 2 kills, and Kitomi picks both of them up. So getting himself closer to that real big item here in the BKB.
It cost them 2 heroes and the Observer Ward that was scouting out for that kill attempt, but Shadow Fiend, of course, one of those heroes that really needs to prioritize not dying every single time that you fall down. The Necro Mastery, all those souls get removed away, so it just takes a little bit of time for you to pick up your farming efficiency again. And I mean, again, you compare that to K1. He is now 2,000 net worth ahead of his next closest competitor.
Radiant are scanning.
I'm still concerned for Beast Coast, even though they have this 2,000 net worth lead, that I feel like late game Entity should be very, very comfortable with the minus armor and the fact that you can just... There's no way you're going to be able to deal with the Corrosive Haze. You can easily kill off the Rolling Thunder target. You can even go Nullifier if the Warcry is a big issue. So I think this BKB timer, you need to really get it soon and to be able to get multiple kills and objectives across the map here for Beast Coast. If they miss that timing, I'm slightly concerned.
They can afford to do it though. It's actually a Meteor Hammer here on Toby.
Yeah, it's in some trouble. It's not a good position to be in when you're against the Pangolier. Been able to bounce back and forth onto multiple walls, and even see Smile just clips the Disruptor as well by the Secret Shop. So 2 pickoffs again into another tier 1 tower as all 5 members are here from Beast Coast to be able to capitalize on the kills.
And K1 just spent the entire time farming while being nearby as well. So popping the God Strength, taking some camps, pushing the lane, taking the tower. This is the Beast Coast that we come to expect. The freestyle Dota coming in full effect. They want to try and catch Katomi. Diffusal Blade's going to do a lot of work to be able to prevent the escape away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This is big. This is what they need to continue doing. Playing active very early on. Starting to get some objectives and take the map control out of Entity's favor. It's a bit more of a greedier lineup here from Dire. This time and space to come online, and now without all their tier 1 towers to protect the jungle, Beast Coast can look to invade and try and stem out the economy that Entity are trying to pick up.
We fear you.
They'll do a pretty good job of it. I mean, the bottom lane is kind of pushed in towards them, so I suppose Pure can just spend that next little bit of time trying to farm it. He's got the BKB available for himself, and going into the Blink Dagger, it does kind of feel like they need that Blink before they can make an aggressive attempt, because there's no real gap close that they've got outside of the Marcy right now, but they still feel confident enough, maybe wanting to play around that Roche Pit, find a pick off in the general vicinity, and find someone without buyback, because that objective will melt if you're able to find the correct pick off. Gojira, good positioning though. Running around with a Vendetta in front of his
Oh no,
claws.
the illusion. Oh no, they're gonna go for the other illusion as well now. The Beast Coast, they want to take the team fight, a big charge into the middle with a global silence fall up as well. K1 can look to clean up Pure. He needs the movement speed, and no, it's actually gonna be Whisper with a swashbuckle to claim the life. Gojira might get Stormstormer, but the stun still on cooldown. This Beast Coast net worth lead continues to grow.
It does. They're not really in a position to Roche, but that's not the objective they want. They want this tier 2 tower. They want to secure even more space on the map for K1 to be able to farm it. Yeah, these multiple odd lanes haven't really been working out too well for Entity so far. You know, the Disruptor, not the strongest in the laning stage. Felt like it was okay for Pure, but that lane paired together with the Marcy and the Nagasara, just essentially zero synergy coming through there. And are they actually pinging this one out? Do they feel like they can take it themselves? Oh yeah, I suppose. DD, lucky shot, minus armor. Underneath 2 wards though. I feel like they can
looks like it.
Yeah, no ultis. Yeah, literally zero.
I am very impressed with what Whisper has been able to do so far in this game. Into the Slaughter, it's a very tricky lane matchup. We saw Pure was pretty much free farming, but Whisper is flawless. 6-0-6. He's picked up this Diffuser Blade, having a lot of impact through the team fight. Second in net worth. I think he's been a really big component on why they have this net worth lead.
Yeah, for sure. And even someone like C-Smile, right? He's got the plate mail queued up, realizing how important it's going to be for him to be that front line. Because you've gotten to the stage where Sven, he's incredibly farmed, and well, actually, he's probably wanting to join the team right now as the DD wears off, but he picks up the Blink Dagger, so now you can actually follow up on a lot more of these aggressive attempts. You can individually look for pickoffs onto almost anyone, I feel. Like, with as farmed as Hector is, he can probably just kill someone within a God Strength.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, because you don't really have the armor on Dire, do you? Like Marcy, little bit coming through thanks to the phase boots. Disrupt has 4, so if you run into Fishman, he's not going to be alive for too long. Bottom lane, Stingers. Oh, use of a global silence very early on. Sun's going to be off the mark, and Empty actually going to bring the reinforcements to take the team fight. Pure can turn it back around with the BKB. Doesn't get the initial stun, so C-Smile's going to protect it for the moment thanks to the pulverized use. We got a 1-for-1. A bit committed though from Beast Coast.
Just trying like mad on Pure as well, just to right click into that pulverize, trying to break it onto the Marcy, realizing how important it is for Katami to stay alive. Just having a look at the item build, sorry, the spell build as well. He looked to max out that sidekick immediately. They realize how important it is to just enable them to look to man fight. But right now, there's nothing really holding them in place to allow Stormstormer to right click. It really wouldn't surprise me if he was towards the bottom end of the total damage done this game.
Yeah, for him in particular, just continuing to try and work towards his farm. Did go that BKB is the second item. We haven't seen the first usage out of it for the Shadow Fiend, but we might see it shortly because Beast Coast still with just under 3 minutes left on the Aegis here on C-Smile. They're going to look to try and get the last outer tower of the game.
What do you reckon about this meme hammer build on Toby? And then he's going into the Wraith Pack.
Top lane, C-Smile. Scan on the invis. Stormstormer's probably going to have to BKB TP. Well, he won't know, of course, with C-Smile's extra advantage that he has. Can he juke through the tree? No, oh, he's going to find him. And oh, and he TP'd before the BKB. He's going to try and do as much right-click damage as possible. Pure is nearby. Let's see the power of the Corrosive Haze along with the Shadow Fiend right-clicks, but it looks like it's not enough. One stun into the follow-up drag back thanks to the Aghanim Shard.
Oh.
They will get the kill with the Aegis, at least, from the Death Requiem. Minor thing. They're cutting off Pure, though. Stinger's going to walk up the high ground. The rest of the team off to the right side as well, so Pure should get a kill. See if he can TP out afterwards, and the BKB will be able to cover that.
Whisper, he's got the Basher coming out to him very shortly, so those BKB TPs won't be as much of an issue in the near future, but they're feeling comfortable enough to keep pushing, and they actually don't have a glyph for another 3.5 minutes, so K1 with the God Strength, if he wants to pop it, just look to invade. They want to force some rotations coming through, and yeah, that absolutely need to be accomplished here.
Oh,
look at that aggressive
look at
one.
That. Yeah, K1 is like, all right, let's just pop a BKB for the Disruptor. Let's get another member into the grave to secure this push.
Back off though, still respecting the Shadow Fiend. The amount of times that Stormstorm has been dying, it's only a couple of times, but again, it just puts you so far behind being able to take that next team fight. I'm sure he's saying to Pure, look, bro, I know you're the carry, but I need my souls. And right now, we have one tier 2 tower to play with, so there's not really too many places out on the map that I can look to play with. Even just Toby, right? He's taking away this this Ancients area, but you're an Argosiren. You could be using your mirror images to push out waves and perhaps farm the more dangerous areas of the enemy jungle and prioritize giving over the quote-unquote safer farm to this Shadow Fiend, to this Lada.
It does feel like Entity are very close to being able to take a team fight where they might have some strength here. With this BKB almost completed on Marcy and Toby just completing the Wraith Pact as well for some help with the damage mitigation. So we'll see if these items are going to be enough for them.
I still really wanted him to get that early Aghanim Scepter though on Toby. That's the big issue that I was talking about with the Meteor Hammer before. I know, of course, it enables you to farm and stay out on the map and all that jazz, but I feel like this is what Beast Coast were looking to play around, this sort of timing here.
Yeah, he's got it queued up. He's got it queued up now on Toby, but
yeah,
like you said, it just might be a little bit too late. With Name, Whisper, look at that, just the shove through again. If you are out of position, they're just gonna commit everything to try and bring one member down, because when you're this far behind, you really need all 5 members on Entity to help with this defense. And top lane, they're even setting up. 2 TPs. Gojira along with Whisper. Oh, they didn't get any bashes. Gojira should be able to still close the distance shortly. If Pure doesn't TP out now, you're going to have another round of the Swashbuckler, so there shouldn't be any escape. It's just going to come down to how long it really takes for Beast Coast to try and get the kill. Again, no bashes coming up with the Swashbuckler. That's twice now, and he can blink away. Really unlucky is Beast Coast. See, Smile's going to be there. They'll use the song, but K1 jumps behind. No hesitation with the BKB. They'll stop the song. It'll help the rest of the team to dance into the tree line and finally kill off Pure.
Oh, they do indeed, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of karma, right? They wanted to have that really effective team fight. Their movement was really solid, super coordinated as well. No bashes, but no cares. They're just going to look to pressure up onto this high ground again. No Glyph to be able, sorry, no God Strength to be able to take this one a little bit faster, but they know that they use that big setup potential with the Song of the Sirens, so they're not really all that concerned about grouping up a little bit. They're even going to find another pick-off.
Instant buyback as well from Fishman, and they'll get nothing out of it. East Coast. Another T3 tower will end up going down. They haven't been able to crack the barracks just yet. 1 minute 30 until the potential of Roche to spawn. So it's going to be important for them to look to control the top jungle and get themselves set up here for the second Roche of the game.
It's very support-ish oriented, but I assume that K1's going to look to go the +10 Warcry armor at level 20 just to provide a lot of additional survivability to the rest of his team. As soon as he pops that with the AC, they're just going to have so much potential to be able to contest into this. I don't think you're even all that concerned about Pure at that stage. Most of the time, he looks to go for a bit more of an aggressive build as well, like with the Moon Shard as opposed to the AC, but it really feels like they're just trying to wait to the later stages, maybe hope that Beast Coast try and overextend inside of their own base, but well, with C-Smile showing solo-ish in the lane, they're going to look to try and get a pick-off, but they just can't seem to find the right one.
Well, there's a DD as well. So a fight that Entity were looking to take, now you have to try and force an engagement into a double damage on K1,
Double
and he
stun.
gets a double stun in the river as well, but the follow-up is there thanks to Whisper's control. 2 heroes just melt under this, and now Toby as well is caught out. Beast Coast everywhere across the map. They're even thinking about the use of the song to cover the retreat, but no messing around with Singer. Global Silence coming out fast enough, and K1's going to be rewarded for a triple kill.
This is 2 lanes of racks minimum, and they're just going to push on forward. No buybacks available, no glyph, nothing to be able to backdoor the waves. So yeah, I doubt they go for Throne. I mean, I think it's the more inclined to take the safer route, and it seems like that is the way that they're looking to play around. But you see there, pops the Warcry, and then suddenly Whisper goes all the way up to 55 armor. Even Gojira 39, so an insane amount of survivability that you're able to obtain.
I don't ever see another fire, and it's going to take way too long here for Entity for that to be a potential Pure. Trying to get the jump in there. Know that BKB was used prior on K1, so they want to try and commit to deal with the Sven. Static Storm's going to be laid down as well with a long Requiem, but it's just there's no synergy at the moment. Their spells are being casted, but not perfectly executed. Toby is going to try and get the Meteor combo out, but see Smile in a position where he could just protect K1, and this should be all she wrote. They wanted one last team fight, one last ride, but Beast Coast being able to tie up the series 1-1, a really, really convincing game 2 from them.
Even more convincing than what Entity showed in game number 1, right? 3 minutes faster overall, and yeah, it really does feel like they tried to go for something a little bit fancy with that offlane Naga Siren, and I understand why, but it really does feel like this time around, would you give it to Hector with just how farmed he was able to get? Because I really feel like, even though his performance was solid,